WCBI News at 10 starts now.
A Friday night crash sends 2 people to the hospital. Thanks for joining us tonight at 10. The crash happened at the intersection of Limburg and Highway 50. Police had to divert traffic in that area due to the accident. Early indications are that one vehicle rear-ended the other. Both drivers appear to only have minor injuries. Tuition is going up at all of Mississippi's universities next fall, but one school is cutting a fee to attract and keep more students. Courtney Jackson explains.
Jackson State is making a big change in its out-of-state tuition fees next fall.
It affects the school in a very positive way. Number one, it attracts folks. Number two, it helps us to retain people as well. And then it helps them start off with that mindset on success.
The out-of-state fee is dropping from $11,228 a year to $1,000, amounting to $500 a semester. There was the opportunity for students to apply for a possible waiver previously, but not all qualified. Students say they had to do a double take when they got the memo.
It's a blessing from God. I was just amazed because this is going to help me a lot, me and my family a lot, since we're paying so much out of pocket.
Definitely an affordable route for me to go to get my education. And I think with this cut, it definitely made it even more so. So now it's just a no-brainer, like, I have to stay.
The administration says they've had an uptick in out-of-state students, so they know this will have an impact.
It's very stressful to now not only worry about doing well in my classes, but how am I going to pay for this too?
Even those who are nearing graduation say it will make a difference.
Any money that you can save will be, enormous towards my family, so I'll take that semester's worth and just run with it.
Half of the state's public universities charge students the same price, whether they're from Mississippi or not. Southern Miss cut its out-of-state fee to $2,000 2 years ago. And Ole Miss and Mississippi State continue to have rising out-of-state fees. Courtney Jackson, WCBI News.
Education was one of the issues on the menu for area lawmakers today. The Columbus Lowndes Chamber of Commerce hosted its annual legislative luncheon. Legislators took questions from chamber members, many of those centered on education, grant money, and roads and bridges. The event gives the legislators a chance to connect with the people they serve.
That works kind of good, and sometimes it works horribly because some of the questions are loaded, but it's a good thing that the people have input and get to ask some personal questions of their representatives. That's a good thing to always be able to connect with your people.
This is the 3rd year the chamber has hosted the luncheon. Since it began, the Highway 12 median project has sparked controversy, but the goal was to improve safety. The project is complete, and some early numbers show the new traffic pattern is working. Riley Livingston has more.
Like anything, it takes us a little bit of time to get used to change, and really with that change, hopefully that will get better as well.
Car after car, drivers are adjusting to the new medians. From Highway 25 to Louisville Street, MDOT says the number of crashes has gone down since 2015.
We expected to see a reduction in crashes, and really the numbers that we've gotten over 1 year, really on phase 1, it shows that we've had around 42% reduction in crashes.
Fewer accidents was the goal behind the new traffic pattern and barriers.
The biggest thing is, from the MDOT perspective, is the safety was the number one desire from it, and really we really feel like that we have seen in this 1 year, and just the look of the numbers that we have, that we've really gotten what we expected from the project.
MDOT construction engineer Jamie McDonald says fewer crashes could save taxpayers money in the long run.
And you actually cut down the number of people having to work those accidents, either from a law enforcement or a first responder standpoint.
While fewer wrecks make for smooth driving on a busy highway, many drivers say there's still an inconvenience.
And they had to put all them curves out there on top of the street, and people gonna have accidents regardless.
It is aggravating sometimes when you're trying to get somewhere, like when I'm trying to get to work. It's sometimes a little difficult, but if it's saving people from accidents, it's getting, that rate down, then I guess it's a necessary evil.
McDonald says they'll have a better understanding of the total crash reduction as more time passes. He says they'll continue to analyze the numbers to get more representative report. Well, time now to toss things over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. We'll get a first look at our Friday night forecast. Hey there, Keith.
Scott, not too bad right now. Upper 60s, low 70s across our region. We've had a few light showers in our neck of the woods. Some heavier downpours west of Greenwood right now, but still not a lot going on in our region. More storms though blossoming as expected in Louisiana, and this complex is going to be crossing North Mississippi later on tonight. So do plan on a chance for some heavier downpours, some thunder and lightning tonight. Temperatures will be down into the 60s. Looks like a lot of that gets out of here by mid-morning. That's good news to start out our Saturday, but we may see some more redevelopment during the day. Highs will be in the 70s. Your full forecast in just a few minutes.
Venezuelan opposition leader Juan Guaido steps up his efforts to rally the country's military to aid in the overthrow of Nicolas Maduro. So far, it hasn't worked. CBS's Adriana Diaz has more.
After protests earlier this week, opposition leader Juan Guaido tried to regain momentum, calling for demonstrations to continue until President Nicolas Maduro steps down.
El momento es ahora.
Energy waned after Tuesday's attempt to spark an uprising within the military led to violent clashes. Armored vehicles plowed through crowds of anti-government protesters, including Luis Alejandro. I tried to get out of the way, he said, but it ran over me. This only strengthens my will. This plaza is the epicenter of the opposition movement. Just days ago, it was packed with protesters. But look around here today. It's as if nothing even happened, at least on the surface. Is there still energy behind this movement? ¿Su movimiento todavía tiene energía? Ha perdido. It's lost it. On Tuesday, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said Maduro was on the verge of fleeing the country, but Russia stopped him. A claim that President Putin denied on a call with President Trump today.
Yeah, I had a very good talk with President Putin, probably over an hour, and he is not looking at all to get involved in Venezuela, other than he'd like to see something positive happen for Venezuela.
Guaido has called for protesters to gather outside military installations Saturday morning. He wants to keep up the momentum, but also encourage the military to join his cause. Because here in Venezuela, whoever has the military's backing has the power. Adriana Diaz, CBS News, Caracas, Venezuela.
Comfortable temperatures right now ranging from the upper 60s to low 70s. We are advertising some 70s for our Saturday, so the chance for some showers and storms. We'll try to time it out a little bit better and also look ahead at next week after the break. Stay tuned.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
All right, as we know, a chance for some showers and storms on Saturday. We are in the 70s. As we get into your Sunday, clouds will thin out. Morning clouds will give way to afternoon sunshine. We'll get back up to around 80. This is our time-lapse camera network from Columbus, Tupelo, Vernon, and Louisville with our Alpha Insurance cameras there. You can see the clouds moving on through. No real active weather this evening. That was good news if you were out and about trying to salvage a nice evening of outdoor activities. A thunder shower right over Indianola right now. Out there in the Delta, some heavier downpours, but there's a bigger batch over here in Louisiana. That moves through later tonight, so don't be surprised if you see some lightning and hear some thunder and some heavy downpours. And then there's this batch over here in Texas, two actually, that will merge and then swing on our way later on tomorrow from the late morning through the afternoon. So Futurecast doing a decent job with this first wave right in here. This is 3 o'clock in the morning, some heavier downpours right there. It looks like a good chunk of that will be out of here by mid-morning. So some residual cloud cover, maybe some light showers, but the heaviest rain out of here temporarily before we see some redevelopment with that second batch. Now, this could actually be a little bit farther north in reality tomorrow. Right now, the model is suggesting the heaviest rain along and south by 2059. But just looking at some of these models as they come on in, they shift back and forth. So in reality, this whole complex could be a little bit farther to the north. We'll be watching out for that. Suffice to say, just have the umbrella on standby and be prepared to deal with some rain. The showers will linger into our Saturday evening. That's 7 o'clock. The clouds will hold tough all night long Saturday night. So when you wake up on Sunday, a gloomy start, but by the afternoon, a lot of sunshine will redevelop around here. So that's the way it's looking. I don't know why we have two versions of Futurecast in there. Let's just roll on into the next graphic here, computer. All right, so we just saw that the weather computer having a fantastic time tonight. So there we go. All right, Saturday, we may see a few stronger storms. Wind would be the greatest threat, some frequent lightning, heavy downpours, and maybe a little bit of hail. But again, from the late morning through the afternoon, some showers and storms are possible, maybe some redevelopment with some of that activity there. So highs will be in the 70s, cool day relative to where we have been and where we will be headed. Back up to around 80 degrees Sunday, 86 on Monday, partly cloudy there as we start out the work week. For Tuesday and beyond, another chance for showers and storms, but we stay in the 80s. Scott?
Columbus's annual Market Street Festival is officially underway. Things kicked off with a little downtown music at the Riverwalk. The Cleverleys and James LeBlanc and the Winchesters played to a good crowd under the Old River Bridge. Tonight's concert was free, open to the public, and family friendly. Things crank up tomorrow morning at 9. And speaking of cranking up, don't forget the Crank It Up contest right here at WCBI.
An engineering team from the Calhoun County Career and Technical Center takes top honors at a state competition. We'll have that story coming up on WCBI News.
Welcome back, everyone. A team from the Calhoun County Career and Tech Center excels at a state engineering competition with a project that can help with search and rescue missions. WCBI's Allie Martin has more on the star students.
Calhoun County's EMA Director Randy Skinner had a dilemma involving a drone that's used to locate missing persons. He asked the engineering team from the Career and Tech Center to tackle the issue.
He told us that there's really no easy way for him to access coordinates from the drone and send them out to any of the team members out in the field. They have to relay everything by word of mouth.
This team, made up of 2 seniors and a junior, representing Vardaman, Calhoun City, and Bruce High Schools, have been working hard since February coming up with a solution. They decided to attach a transponder to a drone. It relays information to an on-site database. It can be used to find a missing person, and if that individual has a transponder, it can track the person for search and rescue teams. Their search and rescue positioning information system took top honors at the recent Skills USA state meet. The engineering team will head to the national competition in June. Between now and then, they'll be busy perfecting their design and testing it with the EMA director in the county. They will also tweak the project to make it more user-friendly.
What we wanted to do originally was create a map. So at the current moment, it's just a table of locations. But what we want to do is have a locally hosted map that we can pin those locations onto so that it's in a more user-readable format.
And the engineering team is also looking at getting a patent for their design. In Calhoun City, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
The national competition will take place in Louisville, Kentucky next month. Ethan Small having himself a day on the mound in College Station. Highlights from the matchup between the Bulldogs and the Aggies next in sports.
Your WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb.
Rain loves to spoil any baseball fun, such as Mississippi State and Texas A&M series opener, but thankfully the rain went away so that the Bulldogs and the Aggies could finally take the field and get the action going in College Station. Let's get to the game. The Road Dogs and the Aggies on the diamond to put the series opener back in motion. Top of the 4th, runners on 2nd and 3rd. Rowdy Jordan turns the heat up with a sac fly out to center field. Elijah McNamee comes home for the first run of the 3-game contest. Dustin Skelton at the plate lines one down the third baseline to tack on yet another Bulldog run. State leading 2-0 after 4. And then we head to the bottom of the 4th. Aggies shoemake with the fly out to center, and watch Jake Mangum go hunting. An incredible grab from the SEC hits leader to keep A&M at bay. The Bulldogs keep the Aggies scoreless with a 4-0 win in Game 1 thanks to Ethan Small and his 8 strikeouts on the day. The two will battle it out for the series win with a couple of 7-inning matchups on Saturday. Game 1 of the weekend series to LSU in Baton Rouge. Ole Miss falls in the series opener 8-3. The Road Rebs get back to action on Saturday at 6:30 p.m. In 1A South half final underway, Vardaman taking on Ethel. Tigers strike first in the first. Madison Odom with a base hit up the middle, bringing in Sydney Roan home. 1-0 Ethel. Vardaman responds right away in the bottom. McKinley Jones liner to second. Error from Ethel is going to bring home a run. Mary Grace Davis makes it look easy, the ball game. Nora Blake Parker doesn't do tie ball games. Base hit to left. That brings 2 more runs home. Parker gets gritty at second. It doesn't matter. The Lady Rams take Game 1 of the series in dominating fashion, a final of 14-4. A 3A North half heavyweight matchup. Houston taking on South Pontotoc. No score through 4. Sarah Brown with the suicide squeeze bunt. Houston can't make the play. Lady Cougs score twice on squeeze bunts for a 2-0 lead. Until who else? Future Mississippi State Bulldog Aquana Brownlee takes this 1 yard in a hurry solo. Homer is the spark Houston needed in the 6th inning. And later in that inning, Jasmine Rogers delivering in the clutch a base hit, bringing home Sydney Bean. The play at the plate. She'd be called safe. It would be a tie ball game, and this one would head into extras. And in the 8th, a sac groundout from Maddie Pilchers brings home Allison Harrison to give South Pontotoc the lead. And a last chance for Houston, a wild pitch, a play at the plate. The Lady Cougars get the out, and South Pontotoc wins a thriller in Game 1, 3-2 in 8 innings. Playoff baseball continues in Houston, taking on North Pontotoc. The Toppers finally get on the board in the 4th. Shamar Crawford base hits brings home Briley Potete. Houston would lead 3-0. And add on to it, Jamie Brassfield delivers with the liner up the middle. Red Parker comes in to score, and Houston's leading by 4. North Pontotoc finally gets on the board in a big way in the 5th. Bo Howell belts one to left field. See you later. The solo homer gets the Vikings on the board, and they would go on to explode from there. The Vikings score 12 more times from there, evens up the series with a 13-5 win. East Union urging it up against Calhoun City in round 3 of the playoffs. Bottom of the 1st, no score. Joe Wilkinson takes it deep with the home run to make it 1-2 for the Urchins. They add on another run to lead 2-0 after just one. Calhoun City ends up pulling off the huge win, 10-6 over the Urchins. They survive to play yet another day. Well, some final scores from around the playoffs. Oxford falls to DeSoto Central 8-4. DeSoto wins the series 2-0. Nanawoya falling to, that score is actually backwards. Hamilton gets the win over Nanawoya 6-5. It's the right score. Nanawoya gets the win 6-5. They had a big comeback in that game. The series gets tied up at 1. That deciding game is tomorrow at 4 p.m. New Hope gets the win over Amory. New Hope advancing to play Pontotoc. Saltillo falls to Lewisburg 8-3. The series tied up at 1. That game 3. Tomorrow, Lafayette beats Ridgeland 4-1. And that's it for sports. The last look at your forecast is after the break. Stick with us.
It is graduation season, and we want to give a big congratulations to a few of our grads from WCBI. A couple of them you already see on TV. Weekend anchor reporter Cash Matlock and our digital content director Sydney Franklin. They're ending their chapter at Mississippi State. Also, meteorologist Jacob Riley, which we just told you is a dad now. He also graduated, so huge congratulations to all of you guys. Ashley, our floor director, in here right now. Congratulations. We love you guys and wish all the 2019 grads a best of luck.
Yeah, clusters of storms out there. We have those rain chances tomorrow, so just have the umbrella on standby.
Definitely. For Market Street Festival, y'all, don't forget tomorrow. Have a good night. Have a great weekend. See you next week.